Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Canal Days. As always, I'm your host, Carrie, along with my co-host, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Como. Our Canal Days series delves into the vast collection of historical sites throughout Massachusetts, with Robert's expertise of the local history as our personal guide. Each episode, we uncover history throughout local communities with historic houses, meaningful monuments, preeminent pivotal pioneers, and remarkable remaining remnants, all while uncovering their seminal significance. Today's episode of Canal Days will be talking about the Turner's Falls Dams in Montague, Massachusetts. So list the two dams within Turner's Falls.
There's the Montague and there's the Gill, and they're on their respective side of the Connecticut River. The Montague on the Montague side and Gill on the Gill side, and it's split in two by a grand island in the middle, which helps form the dam. So one dam is not connected to the other, but it has that island in between as pure rock and as high as the dam themselves. So they can break it like that. And then it comes right to the shore of both the locations and has multiple tasks along the way. And the tasks are going to be covered, and we want to know what else they had here in the past and when were these wonderful dams built. Now, they're built, one of them is fairly straight out to the island, but the Gill one is built a bit out and then in towards the island, so it's flush into the island. So it has an angle to that one. And it's very noticeable, whatever direction you look, you can see the dam or angle. But it works, and that's all that matters, and they get what they want out of it. And there's been dams here for a very long time. So this is a great place to put a dam, great place with a bridge, which there is, power stations, and many other things. So this is one of the nodes of Turner's Falls.
And chronicle the years they were built and their original purposes.
All right, the person that wanted to build them up in 1908 from the Cabot family, he had the money and he had them built to be very strong dams for hydroelectricity. So the last rendition of these dams in this location started up in 1908 and ready both of them by 1913 or so. And they were put there because they wanted to get hydroelectricity or power out of them. Now, there were predecessor dams at that location, so keep that in mind, and we'll cover that later. It's very important to know. But these were the biggest of the dams ever put in this location, and when they put the Cabot station inside near these dams, that was the most powerful hydroelectric station from the Atlantic coast out to Niagara Falls. It was very large and powerful.
And we will be right back after a quick announcement. Are you fascinated by local history and eager to investigate the obscure treasures off the beaten path throughout the state of Massachusetts? Or maybe just seeking an unforgettable cultural activity for family and friends to enjoy? Look no further than Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, founded by Robert Como. With over a decade of experience, Robert offers captivating tours and presentations of historic sites and landmarks throughout the state. Whether you're interested in canals, cemeteries, charming churches, and more, Robert's tours provide a unique and enriching experience for all. And that's not it. You can also schedule private tours tailored to your interests, ensuring a personalized adventure and unforgettable memories. Perfect for families or groups of all sizes, making for an exciting hands-on learning experience that brings history to life. Simply visit holyokecanaltour.org or email bobcat4214 @yahoo.com to book your private tour today. Getting back to our podcast, summarize some of the essential uses they provide.
Okay, the current dam provides hydroelectric power, and the canal they widen even more, so it's in its third rendition of giving a waterway into Turner's Falls. And the dams are to push water into that power canal, and it does it very well. and it generates electricity out of that location. Now, most locations around New England started getting electricity around 1895, and the one in Turner's Falls, they had a predecessor. So by saying 1913 already, they had a predecessor location. They just wanted to make a much bigger one, and that they did. It was gigantic.
And were there previous dams before them and in their locations, and what were the former dams?
Okay, so the first dam in this location was a dam for navigational canal, the Montague Canal. That was a twin of the Sahahi Falls Navigation Canal. Now, this canal here was put in place in 1898. It was ready for use, and it pushed the Connecticut River water in. And the canal wasn't that wide. It was only 16 feet wide compared to what it is now, like 120 feet wide. So it was a tiny one. It was only 5 feet deep, but good enough for navigation and flatboats. So that was the first attempt at a dam here, and it worked very well. And then Alva Crocker came in, and by 1868, he had made another dam, but this one was a dam for hydromechanical power. It would push water into the canal, which was wide and deepened to an incredible level, and also rerouted so it wasn't inland. It was along the outer edge of the Connecticut River's meander. And between the canal and the Connecticut River, you can put in mills, and they can take in, through their tunnels, water from the canal and put it onto turbines and get hydromechanical energy. So that was the second dam put into that location. Now the third dam came in ready by 1913, and at that point, it would become a hydroelectric dam. So the third dam was still powered like the second one, except that it would make electricity out of a large turbine station, the Captain Station. And it was very powerful. And it succeeded. And thus, this location has always had a dam now for about 227 years. With different changes and why it was there. And along the way, they changed the names of the canal and the dam. They would start up being the Montague Canal, but then it became the Turner Falls Canal when it was a hydromechanical one. And they kept that use. And the same with the dams were changed. They were raised when they had to be moved from hydromechanical, hydroelectric. They were raised. And so, great place to have a dam for a lot of good reasons.
And thanks for listening to Canal Days and our episode on the Turner's Falls Dams in Montague, Massachusetts, and joining us on our journey through the rich history of the Connecticut River Valley. We hope you enjoyed uncovering some of the hidden and overlooked marvels and their fascinating stories that shaped our past and the state of Massachusetts. A special thanks to Robert Camus, founder of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, for sharing his passion and expertise with us. Remember, you can find more information about Robert's tours, book private tours, and explore the Canal Days video and podcast series at holyokecanaltour.org. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. Don't forget to keep exploring and discovering the history that is hidden in plain sight all around us. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune to our next episode of Canal Days. And check out holyokecanaltour.org.